Hi friends, welcome to Talks Tamil. Today we are going to discuss about session layer. What is session layer? The session layer is the fifth layer in the OSI reference model. See, as we already know, the layer 1 is a physical layer, layer 2 is a data link layer, layer 3 is a network layer, layer 4 is a transport layer. The fifth layer is session layer. See, this layer allows user on different machines to establish active connection, active communication, the sessions between them. See, when the PC initiates a communication to the application, it establishes multiple sessions. Those sessions will managed by session layer. This layer is responsible for establishing, maintaining, synchronization, and terminating sessions between end user applications. When any communication initiates, okay, for example, by I'm simultaneously I'll be accessing the multiple applications. So the session layer is responsible for establishing those connections and then maintaining those connection and synchronization of those datas and then terminating the sessions between end user application. In session layer, streams of data are received and further marked, which is then resynchronized properly. When the streams of data are received and it will be further marked when then it resynchronized properly so that end of the messages are not cut initially and further data loss is avoided. When the messages are received from the different layers, okay, this session layer will be manages properly to avoid a data loss. If the session layer is not manages the sessions properly, then the data loss will occur, the user will not get the application delivery properly. This layer basically establishes a connection between sessions entities. This layer handles and manipulates data which is received from transport layer as well as from presentation layer. See, this layer, the session layer works in between presentation layer and transport layer. When it receives the data from the transport layer, then it will be manipulates and it will be sent it to the presentation layer. When the data receives from the presentation layer, it manipulates and add that maintain the session and it will be sent it to the transport layer. Let's see the functions of session layer. The session layer works as a dialog controller through which it allows systems to communicate in either half duplex mode or full duplex mode of communication. See, in session layer, it will not bother whether it is a half duplex or full duplex connection. It's based on the dialog controller which allows to the communication. This layer is also responsible for token management through which it prevents the two users to simultaneously access or attempting the same critical operation. So for example, thousands of people are accessing the same Google server, YouTube, all those stuffs, but still those connections are getting managed properly by using the token management principle. This layer allows a synchronization by allowing the process of adding checkpoints. See, it allows a synchronization, okay, by adding multiple checkpoints, which consider as a synchronization point or to the streams of data. When the data get flows, okay, it will be having a checkpoint. It will be synchronizing the data. The layer is responsible for session checkpointing and recovery as well. This layer basically provides a mechanism of opening, closing, manage a session between the end user application process. The services offered by session layer are generally implemented in application environments using remote procedure calls, RPC. We will call it as RPC. Session layer are also responsible for synchronizing information from different sources. This layer also controls a single or multiple connection for each end user application and directly communicates with both presentation and transport layers. The session layer creates a procedure for checkpointing followed by adjournment, restart and termination. See, the session layer creating a checkpoint. See whether it has to be restart the session or terminate the session, all those things will be handled by session layer. The session layer uses a checkpoint to enable a communication session which are to be resumed from the particular checkpoint. See, some failure occurred in the session, okay, which has to be resumed. Those things where it is getting checkpoints, okay, it will be resumed the session layer. Session layer uses the checkpoints to enable a communication where it is get error occurred. From that checkpoint, it will be resume the connection. That is also one of the functions happening in session layer. Session layer is responsible for fetching or receiving data from its previous layer, transport layer, and further sent to the presentation layer. It's vice versa. The session layer acts between presentation layer and transport layer. It's a bridge between the presentation and transport. Further to presentation, it will go to the application layer. This is mainly responsible for session layer. It's a maintaining sessions for each and every application which is handles the communication. It will keep the sessions separately and then it will be enable the communication. Thanks for watching Net Talks Tamil. Please like it, share it, subscribe it. If you have any doubts, please drop your doubts in comment box. It will be addressed in upcoming videos.